Hey everybody, welcome to the Stock Car Spectacle. I'm Ian Jordan,
Nick Kinsel.
And I'm Tom Hoblin.
and you saw us on Monday talk about the Austin Dillon situation with what happened on the last lap. And today, NASCAR announced that he's going to keep his win. He's going to keep that trophy, the checkered flag, but they will not be granting him the playoff eligibility from this. And they deducted 25 extra points as well. So I think well deserved.
The encumbered wins are back, and just initial knee-jerk reaction here is this not only needed to be done, but was a good move by NASCAR. You just wish it didn't take so long, because the further we get from the situation, the little less punchy, less stingy it kind of feels. So you wish it came out Monday, you wish it came out Tuesday, and we had to wait an extra day.
Yeah, it needed to happen. Just looking back at all of it, it really does suck for Dillon because if Ricky Stenhouse isn't Ricky Stenhouse, then he goes on and wins this race the right way, and he's in the playoffs. And we're not even talking about this today, but look, we talked about it. He got beat fair and square on the restart by Joey Logano, and I'm gonna just send it in there and hope for the best, and no shot at making that corner. Taking out Logano, and then people are saying he didn't hook Denny. He absolutely hooked Denny.
Look
It's
at the
just wrong.
SMT data.
They
The
they
SMT
can
data
they can
showed it.
spin it. RCR can spin that all they want.
Yeah.
And they're gonna stick with the story throughout their appeal that Austin was just trying to hammer down and take the shortest line to the finish.
Yeah,
But
it needed.
but
It need.
again, it's just the whole you take a step back and look at the whole situation as it was, as it happened. It didn't look right, regardless of his intent. And NASCAR needed to do something about this to set a new precedent to move forward with this.
Yeah, I was worried. I really didn't think it was going to happen since it was this late. I just thought that they were going to maybe suspend him and maybe give him a points reduction and let him stay in the playoffs. But this is the right move. I mean, that was just not a good look at all for the sport because we were talking about it on Monday. NASCAR only seems to make headlines for stupid stuff like this, and we can't have that. So I'm glad that they took the time here and they came out with a warranted penalty. He can keep the win, but you're not going to race him in our playoffs because of it. That's just
I mean, not yet, not yet.
not yet. Yeah, he
He
could.
won Daytona a few years ago, but it's possible. Again, this doesn't take away his chances of being in the playoffs. It's just they're not going to let this specific moment let him into the playoffs. And it's
Mhm.
again, I want to kind of turn down the temperature on all these people saying like, well, NASCAR is gonna this changes the whole way that NASCAR is gonna do it. No, 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 no. They're still gonna allow some aggressive driving. We're still gonna see hurt feelings. We're still gonna have fans' opinions on both sides of different things. But this specific event was so special that it required this type of action.
Yeah.
Again, you can see it with your naked eye. I mean, you just watch the replay back without commentary, watch it in silent. It just something about it doesn't look right, and you shouldn't be rewarded. I mean, there's so much more that would get rewarded with this. I mean, Denny saying the difference between finish 30th in points and 16th in points is about $2 million for RCR. So this was a big hit to RCR. Of course, they're going to appeal, but just like you're going to get rewarded for all this stuff if NASCAR doesn't do anything about it, and people are going to think they have to do stuff like this. It's going to become expected.
Yeah, that's just the product of the win and you're in. It's going to have these drivers get desperate, but we've had this for a while and we haven't seen a driver get this stupid and desperate. So
Yeah,
maybe
I
this will
just
change things, maybe it won't, but I definitely NASCAR did a fantastic job with setting the precedent of don't do this.
I just can't remember a time where somebody wiped out not one but two drivers in the span of two corners to go on and win a race. He
Yeah.
he
I
literally
mean, I mean,
bulldozed his way through there
in
and used his car as a weapon.
in any aspect, wiped out two guys
Yeah,
seemingly intentionally in any set of corners. That quick succession. I don't care if it was for a win or if they're running for 38th. Like, come on, it's it was egregious. And I didn't get to share my opinion on Monday's show, but this I see this threefold. It's like you guys said, it's Ricky Stenhouse's fault first and foremost. That pass was not even for position. Why is he going in there so hot with 2 laps to go, especially with the leader behind him?
Yeah.
So again, that's the Pandora's box there. Well, if he doesn't do that, then none of this happens. Number 2 to blame is NASCAR for having the format and putting the drivers in this position, both with overtimes and with the win and you're in. They took away the top 30th provisional. So that didn't even matter anymore. If he's running 32nd in points and he's stopped from, even if he wins, he's not going to make the playoffs if we still have that 30th. So does he do it? That's the other question. And then third and foremost, it's Austin Dillon's fault, but not for the way that you think. It's that he was put in a situation. Yes, he had the speed, but then he now has to be in the situation with a restart with the guys who are up front running those restarts all the time. And he simply could not handle it. He is not in that position enough to know what to do. And it screwed him over. And that also forced him into that aspect. And I don't think
He's
that's
ranked.
getting talked about more. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's ranked
definitely.
really low.
35th.
He's ranked really low in restarts. He's lost the most positions this season on restarts, and he's never up front to be with these guys to know how the game is played. He just he's been sitting in the back waiting for these restarts and waiting to hit the start finish line every time before he can get going for the whole season. And so regardless of his intent going in there, he just doesn't know what he's doing in this specific situation, which then forces him to get as desperate as he does. Yes, he sees that he deserved this win, and frankly, he did. But then the way you go about winning that was not appropriate whatsoever, and I think this penalty is more than fair.
I just don't know how you can just go in feeling good about yourself after what you just did. But this just goes back to this is what he had to do. Like this is this format. This was his one ticket. Because I mean, Gabehart said it best. What did he say? He said every 3 or 4 years, a 3 team kind of shows up and pulls one out of their ass. And other than that, they just suck, and they do suck. They're 32nd in points for a reason. They're not good, but this was
He
the
still
one
moved
race.
up. He still moved up in the standings because of this. He's at
This is
31st
the
now.
one. This is the one race where they put almost a complete race together. Well, they really did. They won the race, but it just not how you would, not how somebody at the highest level of racing should do. And so, yeah, this penalty needed to happen.
I watched back your guys' recording from Monday, and I do want to fight back on some of the comments you guys were making about Joey Logano. You seem to come a little bit quickly to his defense. When I want to look back at one specific, if I just look at Austin entering turn 3 with the 22, and I look back at what Joey Logano did to William Byron at Darlington, that is the same exact thing to me. And I think you guys were too quick to come to his defense. I think the fans at the track read right into that. No, should he have gotten booed for getting absolutely punted out of the way without any regard? Probably not. But the fans at the track saw the hypocrisy, and I think Joey Logano has been in that situation before, and one too many times has gone
Did
too
Joey
far.
Logano make that move when he was 5 to 6 car lengths back? No, he's not going to make that corner. And if I go back to that Darlington race, I believe it was Byron that put him up there first, and then so he retaliated.
Well, Byron may have squeezed
him
him into the wall.
Yeah,
maybe.
he squeezed him up
left
there.
That's all fair game at that point. And
Mm-hmm.
at that point, Joey Logano wasn't 5 car lengths behind him. He was maybe 2 at most, which is what you'll usually see with your typical bump and run. And he didn't just absolutely fence him like what happened to
that wasn't even
Joey.
A bump and run.
I think
that was flat out just taking the guy out.
That was just wrecking him. Yeah.
I think Austin Dillon was beat on the backstretch. I don't think he was as far as 5 back. And I think Joey Logano was a bit further back in that Darlington thing, just from what I've gone back and watched in my personal opinions. Again, don't think this is the right way to win. If I'm a driver, I don't want to win this way for sure. Again, you made the comment on the show. You're like, that's what I do in NASCAR Heat 5 if I'm in the round of 8 and I need to win. Yeah, because it's fun and it doesn't matter. But this matters. And this is unacceptable. And NASCAR needed to draw the line. And I'm so glad they did.
Well, that's what happens when you get a silver.
They did it in a way that keeps it arbitrary. And I'm okay with this. It keeps it arbitrary enough for them to be open to make another call like this if they have to, because this will come up again. This format is not going to go away. This will come up again, and they're going to have to make these calls again. And next time it may not be your driver. It may be your driver, and it may not go your way, and you may not be happy.
Yeah, well, Now everything is set. Austin Dillon is not going into the playoffs because of this win, and
Yet.
yet.
Yeah,
But
he's very good at wrecking people at Daytona for wins, so he can flat out just go out and do it again in a couple weeks. So we'll
75%
see.
of his wins have come from wrecking people for
Mhm.
the win. So
In the purest
uh,
terms, though, this was an action detrimental to stock car racing, and that's what they ruled. That's what they
Well,
ruled.
it's just crazy that 10 minutes before that, everybody was probably cheering for Austin Dillon because he was going to blow up that playoff board.
I
It was
And
was.
then
going
it
to be
went from
incredible, and it was
let's
going to be by
go
the letter of
Austin
the law.
Dillon to fuck you, Austin Dillon. But that was warranted.
Hmm.
Yeah. Just the way he handled himself, because we've had overtimes before, we've had crazy finishes, but we've never seen someone act out like that. That was fucking
It
But
was
ridiculous.
just
again,
the
I
post
lean.
race shit. The post race shit where he's
Hmm.
thanking God and everything like this. Like,
Hmm.
get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. You don't mean any of that. And
And
none
he
of that
told
is.
his wife, "Get the kids over here fast so I can hold them so no
Oh
one
yeah.
attacks me."
Again, I wanna lean back on it. He is getting set up. I'm taking a look at the bigger picture, not trying to defend him. I'm just trying to get in the mindset, right? He is in the position to start to be taking over the business side of this race team. And again, going from 30th in points to 16th in points does a world of difference in the ownership championship. And this is what NASCAR sets out. They said win at all costs. So, with those three aspects, you can see why he does it. And that doesn't mean we have to like it, but it kind of gets you in that mindset of where he goes. And then it turns right back around, and NASCAR says, yes, these are all the things we want, but you cannot do it like that. And I think that's really important.
Yep. A very fine line to everything, and Austin Dillon crossed that line by a mile and a half. Absolutely ridiculous. So
Well, it was more like 2/3 of a mile because they were in turn 3.
yeah. Well, before we get any further, Tom, do you have a diecast of the week at all for us? 'Cause I know you missed out on Monday. If you wanted to
Ah,
play anything, or shall we just move on?
there you go.
All right.
Car tomorrow, Kyle Busch that I pulled off the shelf. Um, yeah, there you go.
Cool. But
Thanks.
that is not the only penalty coming from this weekend. Joey Logano was also handed a $50,000 fine, excuse me, a $50,000 fine for basically almost trying to kill Austin Dillon's family and friends on pit road.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
burning
don't like
burning
it.
it down right by the 3 pit stall while there's a lot of people there. Not smart.
Well, I don't think it was enough. I don't think that $50,000 was enough of a penalty for an
I
act
think he
like that.
got
I mean,
off
you
easy.
literally had Austin Dillon's wife and child right there. They had to like jolt themselves out of the way, otherwise he was gonna hit them.
Mhm.
Like, could you imagine if he would have just tapped them? What happens here? So I think that penalty was far too light. I know he's pissed off, but you can't be putting people's lives in danger like that.
Hear me out here for just a second, because this is not going where you think it is. But I'm thinking back to Juan Pablo Montoya at Daytona when he's coming around the track under caution and something breaks in his car and he sets the jet jar on fire. Joey Logano was just hit at speed into the wall. Who's to say he goes there, he's not going to get anywhere near them? God forbid something breaks as he revs up that engine and that car free rolls into that crowd of people. I think
Hmm.
this is way too soft. He got off way too easy. Maybe not suspended, but I thought for sure he
Some
was going to get
points.
6 figures. I don't think points. It wasn't happening during the race, but
Yeah.
I was thinking 120,000 dollars would send a little bit stronger message. I also think NASCAR, again, this is something else NASCAR used to do. They are to blame. It's still a hot pit road at a short track where tempers flare. Keep as few people off pit road until the cars are completely stopped and shut off. But what Joey Logano does here is egregious. He flies past that queue on the right side. He's going putting officials between him and other cars. And then there's people out there, and to rev up and turn towards that group, not acceptable, not cool.
No, that was very ridiculous. I already didn't have a whole lot of respect for Joey Logano, but definitely lost a shit ton of respect for him after that one. Just can't have that. Can't have anyone on pit road besides the pit crew members, team members, all that. Keep family out of there. Eliminate the front stretch interviews because that's why they were standing there, because they were going across. Go back to victory lane interviews.
Mhm.
That's what we should learn from all this right now.
So here's my question to you guys. So now that Austin Dillon does not have the playoff eligibility from this race, and say he doesn't go on to win the next two uh, at Michigan or Daytona or Darlington and misses the playoffs, do Denny and Joey still retaliate now that he's out?
No, I think they just laugh.
I don't think that 3 car is going to be anywhere near the front for them to worry about it. I just don't think that's a possibility. Like I said, this is a one-off. This was a fluky race, and yes, he had the speed this one time, but I think this is cool. If he stays in the playoffs, it could be a different story. They'd make his life a living hell, but I also don't think they would need to.
They
I
don't
just don't
need
think
to,
RCR
yeah.
is there. But now that he's kind of just back where he was, and yeah, you got a cool trophy. Good for you. You got a lot of press. They're gonna appeal, whatever. But I just don't think it's worth the 11 or the 22's time. They have other stuff to focus on. They actually have a chance to win a championship. One a little bit more than the other, but they need to focus forward now. Put it behind them. I mean, again, Joey basically got to hand NASCAR $100 bill and gets to keep racing.
Yeah.
So
It's not worth their time whatsoever to
no,
deal
I don't
with
think
him.
so. Besides, imagine all the publicity this gets, and then they retaliate on top of that.
Yeah.
God, they would get blown up. They would get new a-holes ripped by NASCAR. Like it's not worth it. And Denny said as much on his podcast. He says, even if I go out there and retaliate, and even if it's not intentional, I'd probably still get blamed, still get fined, still get docked points, and it's not worth it.
Yeah.
So if anything, they need to race Austin a little bit cleaner to not get anything put in NASCAR's head that they're trying to pull some stuff.
By racing Austin cleaner, it just means when they're going past him when he's already a lap down. So
Yeah, and
pretty much.
tell him he's number one. Again,
Yep.
this is now way worse for Austin Dillon because we see the type of driver he is. He didn't have a great reputation just off skill, but now we see what he's going to do. He's going to put the safety and the well-being of other drivers aside to do this. I don't think any driver races Austin Dillon with any respect now. Nobody's going to give him any room. His life is going to be made a living hell by most every driver on the track.
Yeah. No way in hell.
And good luck winning Daytona when nobody respects you.
right.
Yeah,
you need
no one's
friends.
going to want to push you.
And you know who else that hurts? Kyle Busch. Because nobody's going to want to help Austin. Austin wants to push Kyle Busch to victory. Or Kyle wants to put Austin.
Oh man, I was gonna ask. So say that they didn't penalize Austin Dillon at all. I was fully getting ready to come on here today and just ask you, how are you feeling that Austin Dillon got the first win for RCR this season?
I mean, he still got it, and
He still got it.
They had speed, and Kyle had some speed on Sunday, but with the injury and just how Kyle does in this car, it was heartbreaking to watch. I said, Austin Dillon, the laps are winding down. It's like Austin Dillon is competitive and he's running down Denny Hamlin at his home track.
They passed him.
And where's Kyle? Yeah, he had some issues on pit road, but
Rowdy Scissorhands.
Yeah, it was again, it's just another sad race to be a Kyle Busch fan. And we're running out of time. We're running out of time here.
Yeah. Rough go of it, especially when you see all that speed come out of that 3-car.
Yeah, that's tough. Tough for sure.
For damn sure. Well, guys, you ready to make our picks for Michigan?
Let's do it.
Alrighty. Well, Truck Series is off this weekend, but we got Xfinity and the Cup Series running. Xfinity Series, they had a little bit of a longer break, 3 weeks off, and they're coming back to the Irish Hills in Michigan with the Cabo Wabo 250, 250 miles, 125 laps. Stages 1 and 2 will be 30 laps each, and the final will be 65. last year's winner was John Hunter Nemechek. He absolutely smoked the field in this one. Joe Gibbs Racing, they have the most wins with 7, and Chevrolet has the most manufacturer wins with 17. We got some notables. Daniel Dye, who just made the playoffs for the Truck Series. He is going to be running the 10 for Colleague Racing.
He runs well in
Lo-
that car.
yeah,
Daniel Dye does.
really well. Lawless Allen, he's going to be making his Xfinity Series debut, so I feel bad for the field here.
Cool.
Taylor Gray will be in the 19 for Joe Gibbs. John Hunter Nemechek will be in the 20. Noah Gregson will be back in the 30 for Rhett Jones Racing, and Carson Quapple will be in the 88 for Junior Motorsports. So Matt from Monday gave us our pick, and he is going to be going with last year's winner, John Hunter Nemechek. Great pick. I mean, can't go wrong with him.
Yeah,
He's
low
just
hanging
good
fruit.
everywhere we
John
go.
Hunter
Yeah,
steps in. He steps into an Xfinity car. He's gonna go fast.
pretty much. So Tom, who is your pick for Saturday in the Irish Hills?
Well, I do want to point out that now that we don't have Auto Club, this track is very unique
Yeah.
on the schedule for both Cup and Xfinity, and so it'll be fun to watch. And I think with something like this, you need your experience. It kind of races intermediate like, but high speeds. You got to hit your marks. And I think there is one Justin Allgaier that is really good at a big old D-shaped oval. And so the 7 car will be in victory lane for Junior Motorsports on Saturday.
Great pick there. All right, Nick, who are you going with?
See, me personally, I'm going with Mother Nature to win on Saturday because that weather forecast for Friday and Saturday do not be looking promising right now. I'm hoping it clears up. It's like every single day that we look at it, it's us like, oh, it's all cleared out. We're gonna have a sunny day. Oh, it's gonna thunderstorm all day. No, but in all seriousness, you said Joe Gibbs Racing has the most wins all time here, and you said Chevrolet has the most for manufacturer. So that's why I am picking a Ford. And the last Ford to go to victory lane a couple weeks ago was the '98 car of Riley Herbst. That was a huge win for Riley, just the way that he got it done. That was his best drive for sure. And he's had a little bit of time off, and I just think he's going to come back even more determined to go back out there and keep racking up the wins. And I think it can happen. So yeah, I'm taking Riley Herbst to go back to back.
Alrighty, I like it. I gotta go with his Stewart Haas Racing teammate, not Cole Custer, but Noah Gregson, who's gonna be running that 30 for Rhett Jones. He has looked pretty damn fast in there. He has gotten a few top tens in there, so I'm excited for him to jump back in there. And yeah, let's go get us another Xfinity dub. All right, boys. So let's move over to Sunday for the Firekeepers Casino 400 miles, 200 laps. Stage 1 is 45 and stage 2 is 75 laps. And the final will be 80 laps. Last year's winner was Chris Buescher and RFK Racing. They have the most wins here with 14. They just knew how to get it done in their backyard. And the most manufacturer wins is holy shit. Ford with 44 wins in total at Michigan International Speedway. So, guys, I feel like you got to be crazy if you're not going for a blue oval this weekend.
Well, call me crazy because I'm taking Tyler Reddick. He he is surging. He is consistent. And I mean, last 6 races, he hasn't finished worse than 6th. He has a chance to win every week. And last year he was fast. Last year he was going to win if it weren't for the pit crew with their troubles last season. Those seem to have gone away for the moment. And I think this is a type of track that Tyler Reddick will thrive at because he has already.
Yeah. You can call me crazy too. My original pick was going to be Martin Truex Jr., but they just seem to have problems every single week, whether it's the pit crew or whether it's the car itself.
Or
I'm
both.
actually going with the teammate to Tyler Reddick. I am taking the 23 car above Wallace.
Wow.
This is a sneaky good racetrack for him. Set on a pole here. He's fast here, and he's just been a man on a mission. Coming from over a 40-point deficit to now he's there. He is on that he's right there back in the mix, and which has just been incredible. But the entire 23 team, the runs that they've had past couple of weeks to go from a 40-point deficit to now they're right back in it. And so yeah, I just look for Bubba to go out there and have speed again, and hope for a good day. Good checker flag.
Well,
I
you
mean,
guys,
that's something that he could use too. I mean, we kind of glossed over this with the Austin Dillon penalty here, but I mean, the cut line moves back and it's tighter. It's way tight. So Bubba could definitely use the win more than anybody right now. I mean, he'd be very happy to take that.
yeah, absolutely. But I don't know. I gotta say, you guys are wrong. You didn't listen to me. You didn't listen to my facts. RFK Racing has 14 wins. Ford has 44. That's why I'm going with the man, the myth, the legend, the K in RFK, Brad Keselowski. Finally gonna in his home track. It's been a long time coming. Almost every Ford driver has won here in the past, and it's his time to shine. Bad
That would
Brad going to
just be
victory lane.
so cool. That'd be such a great moment right there
Would
to
it?
see him win at home.
Would it?
Yeah, I think
For,
so.
for us, yeah.
All right.
Not for you.
All right. Whatever. Whatever. Fine. Fine. Take it.
But Matt is going to be going with his teammate Chris Busher. So at least someone listened to me. Someone heard me. So
Guys, hold on. The last 2 years, the Richmond, Michigan double has taken place. So
Oh, you
obviously,
stop it right
Oh,
now.
shut the
Obviously.
fuck up.
You stop
okay,
it right
okay, I'll
now.
stop. All right, fair.
If
But
if
just frankly, if you have speed at one, you're gonna have speed at the other. So
if
I
I
mean,
have to watch Austin Dillon win a race, I will never go to a NASCAR race again. You heard it
maybe
here.
maybe they found something in this 2 week break. Obviously, they showed up unloaded fast at Richmond. Why didn't they also prepare for Michigan? Who knows? It could happen.
I
You know the
swear.
sickening thing that's going to happen is he's going to either start in the top five or he's going to sit on the pole
Think of
and
the
hope.
drama. Think of the
Think
drama of
of
him
all
having to
that
race
would
Denny
just
and Joey all
happen.
day.
Oh my
Would
god!
be
They're already typing up that
fun.
script as we speak, buddy.
Just point it out. It maybe Richmond wasn't a fluke. Maybe RCR found something. Highly doubtful. Maybe they found it. I'm only hoping as a Kyle Busch fan that RCR found something.
The only repeat I want to see from Michigan is Austin Dillon almost flipping once again due to Brad Keselowski. So,
Whoa. Whoa.
hey man, you like to race dirty? All right, let's go.
All right, one thing I want to before we close out here, I also we kind of glossed over this too. Austin Dillon's spotter got suspended 3 races, I believe, for his words on the radio. And this is one of the RCR talking points that I'm actually going to take at face value. I think he became a fan in that moment, and he was just holding the button on the mic down. I don't think Austin Dillon does anything differently, whether he hears the spotter or not. And the spotter's not driving the car. And so I think 3 races is a little harsh. Maybe get rid of him for 1 race. Maybe just pull him into the hauler and talk with him and be like, "Hey man, you can't do that. I have a cat. Hello, hello." Maybe pull him into the hall, or maybe just do something like that. But I think 3 races is a little bit egregious for that. And Austin is not changing how he's driving because of same reason when Kyle Larson gets told like, "Hey man, he raced you like that all the time. You got to go get him." Kyle's just like, "Shut the fuck up, man. Like you're not
I think
driving the car. Let me drive the car." So it's a little bit, yeah, we can't have that. It's a sportsmanship thing, if anything. But I think NASCAR just be like, "Hey man, chill out. Don't be
it was
saying stuff.
harsh,
It's
but
bad."
it was just so blatantly obvious. And then I think what played into that bigger suspension is that RCR just played plain stupid. They played it stupid after the race. They're like, "Oh, that didn't happen. Somebody put that in there. That never happened." And then
Yeah, well,
when
Matt Weaver was
Matt Weaver
showing.
showed him the video, he was like, "Oh, well, had to do what he had to do." So that's on RCR more than anything. So
And again, I'm
enjoy your
still gonna
vacation.
fall back on that and say that's on NASCAR because
Enjoy your vacation, bud.
he did do what he think he had to do. Shouldn't be calling for people to wreck each other. Not egregiously like that. It's no spin gate. It's not like pre-planned or anything. But yeah, I truly think he became a fan, a spectator, and he just needs to be more careful with his words. Send him to whatever the equivalent of spotter sensitivity training is. but don't send him packing for 3 weeks. I mean, you want your best. I mean, you're going to Daytona in one of these 3 weeks, and you're now it's a dangerous place already. You want the best and the brightest up there, and the people that are most trustworthy. And if Austin Dillon's got to figure that place out with a different spotter, it's just not going to be as safe as it could be.
Yeah. All I can
If
say
I can play
is,
devil's advocate here.
yeah. All I can
Look.
say is if someone was in my ear while I was racing and they're like, inside, wreck 'em, I'd be like, okay, whatever.
See, I don't know if I'd be like that.
I
though.
just think it's more the fact that how RCR tried to play it off after the race. I had to deal with that, where everybody denied. They said that somebody hijacked their radio broadcast and said that. Like, come on, that is the stupidest thing I've ever
He was
heard.
also a dumbass for going to Denny's team after that.
Yeah.
He literally walked up to Denny's spotter, was like, "Sorry, man, I think that was my fault." Like, what are you doing? Be like, "Hey, officer, I just robbed this bank. Here's all the money." Like, come on, dude. Be like, I was in the moment, man. I was just cheering my guy on. I don't know what I said. Sorry, my guy got into your guy. I'm not sure what I said, but I'm not driving the car, so it's not my fault. Like, come on, dude. Don't be like, that's my fault. I told him to wreck you. What is that?
Yeah.
Maybe he should be suspended, but just on the grounds of being a dumbass.
So maybe he isn't the best and
Yeah,
you want at
the
Daytona.
brightest guy you want.
I've talked myself into a circle here. So, yeah, this is huge. This was a historic weekend and week for NASCAR. We still have the appeal coming. I do also want to point out the appeals panel, not as affiliated with NASCAR. The people that know NASCAR, but we saw it last year with the Louvers and Hendrick and Colleague. Hendrick got off scot-free. Hendrick got away with cheating. Colleague, same thing, probably went into the same argument. Didn't get away with it.
I feel like, well, because you're looking at
who knows what weird RCR lawyers are going to pull in there to be like, here's all the facts, here's how we see it. And the appeals panel,
some kind of crazy loophole.
Yeah, the appeals panel has the final word. They are the Supreme Court, and they are not affiliated with NASCAR. They're people that know NASCAR. So this isn't over just because of the report that came out today. I think that's the last thing I need to say on this. But this is not over. I mean, it could be, but it's not done yet.
I hope they just give them a bigger penalty for trying to appeal it.
You know what? This wasn't enough. You guys lost proverbially $2 million. You need to lose $600,000 more.
And you lose a charter too.
Yeah. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God.
Bye, Kyle.
Yeah.
You know we're keeping Austin.
You never want to see something like this ruin a race team, which some folks are pointing out that at this track with Spingate kind of ruined Michael Waltrip Racing.
Yeah.
Colleagues Racing has never really recovered since their penalties last year with the Louvers. That took a lot away from them. And we know that these teams make their money in the ownership points. And if you punish them too hard, they may not survive. They may be depending on finishing a certain way, which running 30th and 25th in points or wherever they are, not great for getting your money at the end of the year. But again, if you think about it from that aspect, Austin did what he had to do. It was just the wrong way to do it. And he found the line that we've been wondering for so long where it is.
So I guess we'll see in the coming weeks what NASCAR will say from the appeals court and what will happen to RCR. But for the time being, guys, I think that will wrap it up for our show here. Guys, make sure to tune into Michigan this weekend. It's going to be a great show. Me and Nick are also going to be at the track with our good buddy Patrick.
Hell yeah.
So if you guys see us, come say hi. We'd love to talk racing with you guys. And make sure to like our videos, subscribe to our channel, and check out our links down below. So for the Stock Car Spectacle, I'm Ian Jortson.
I'm Nick Kinsel.
And I'm Uno. Ow, you don't have to bite me.
We'll see you guys next time. Enjoy Michigan.